Hey guys, welcome back to the Hoops and Hits podcast presented by Tab. I'm your host today. Yes, that is correct. Your host, Josh the Grub Reynolds. Our man Horo, he's off getting an interview for us in Melbourne on the ground. So we'll let him off the hook. But we have a very special guest, a guy that has come on the show before, our sixth man. And gee, you done a good job. BK, Benyam Kidane, how are you, brother?
It's good to be back, brother. Off the bench, I'm ready to go.
I'm not going to lie, we had a good chat after last time, and you were MVP. You're great.
I love it. Awesome. Appreciate it, brother.
So we'll get into the show. The LA Dodgers win the World Series, which was huge for them. I did not see that coming. Your man, Joel Embiid, he's had another locker room scuffle. What's going on?
There's always drama in Philly, always.
There's always, and that is a good point. We are all Philly today. This is a full Philly table, and I like it. None of this horror Miami stuff. Ben Simmons commits to the Boomers again. What's your thoughts on this? Can he pick and choose when he wants to play for the green and golds? What's going on?
It's not really how it works, but I'm still on Ben Simmons' island, so we'll dive into it. But
okay, we'll delve into that. Michael Thomas beefs with Derek Carr on X. What are you doing? Let's not do this in public, but we will delve into that. Garrett Wilson shines in the Jets' win over the Texans, and we will talk about, was this the best grab that we have ever seen? We won't give it away yet, but it was pretty good. My man, what a day for it. Saquon Barkley, I've worn it. The Kelly Green, the bloke is a freak. Tell me you've seen the hurdle.
That was unbelievable.
The bloke's not human. I've come to terms. He's not human, and I'm so glad he's at Philly this year. And as I mentioned, we have a very, very special guest. Our man, Hoz the Scope. He's gone all the way down to Melbourne, and he has a very special guest. I'm going to give you a hint. So this guy played in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And he loved Skittles.
Okay.
You know who it is?
I think I know where we're going with this, but we'll wait to check in with the Scope on location.
Okay. We'll get into that later. But let's get into Left on Red, where the fans write in the questions about what's going on in all sports at the moment. So this one's from producer Shabs. He says the Dodgers are now one of 6 franchises to win at least 8 World Series titles. The Dodgers' historic comeback to win their 6th World Series. Did you see that coming, mate?
Not when they were down 5-0. I thought the Yankees were going to make a little bit of a push there, but pretty wild ending to that clinching game, and I think that's the biggest deficit overcome in a series clincher. So pretty crazy way for them to end that, and the parade looked crazy too.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. What they do, they have the best player in the world in Ohtani, and he really showed what he was about in that final series. But for me, I like to see what they do. You know, on the field, they're great. They're a great team. They hit home runs. They defend really well, and they're really good at all key aspects of the game. But I like what they do upstairs too. You know, they got plenty of cash. But it's not just about spending cash. It's about all the analytics. And look, it's been said that they're possibly going to set up a dynasty now. You know, they've got some really young guys that could be there for 5 or 6 years. So the Dodgers could be making something right now.
Yeah, like you said, they got pretty creative with the contracts, the back-ended nature of things, and the way they kind of set this all up, obviously around Ohtani's deal. But, you know, like you said, the talent that's on this team, Freddie Freeman was unbelievable in a couple of games in this series. And like you said, this isn't just this year. This could be the next few years here for the Dodgers.
Yeah, so Dodgers fans, strap in. It could be a good couple of years. The next one we got is from Gary Caravellis. This one's from Facebook, and he says, Barkley again. And I feel we're going to be saying this all year again and again. Saquon goes God mode in the Eagles win. Please tell me you've seen what he done on the weekend.
How do you process that much information at once to do a 360 pirouette, reverse, jumping jack? Like, that's not how you move down the field. Like, how many players do you think can do that besides Saquon?
I love the term jumping jack. Yeah. I want to use this on the show a lot more. But, mate, like we speak about, look, we've got Beast Mode, the king. He's unbelievable, and I love him. We've got Alvin Kamara, who's probably a really smart running back, but this guy at the moment, I want to say it, he's the Benji Marshall of the NFL.
Hey, I like that.
You like that?
I like that.
Like, I just feel he's taken his game to the next level. And look, I'm gonna be a bit biased here, but I definitely think he's got to be in the question for Offensive Player of the Year. He's just on fire.
In terms of the impact he's made right away, like, I mean, the New York Giants have got to be sick. They let this guy walk for nothing.
No.
And then to see him go to Philly and do what he's doing. But in terms of like the entertainment value he's producing,
Yep.
Philly fans have got to be stoked.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And I think, when some players go to clubs, I think they make other players better.
Yeah.
For us, Philly at the moment, I just don't know where we're at. But AJ Brown goes off in the first or second quarter. Smith comes up with that unbelievable grab. But, I think Saquon brings that energy to the team. He's really lifting our full squad. And I know we're talking a lot about our attacking prowess, but Zach Bourne on the weekend, made our linebacker. It's his first chance he's really got in the NFL. He come away with 10 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, 2 passes defended, and an interception. So it's just, I just wanted to say him. We speak about offenses a lot, but he's a defensive beast, and I'm loving what he's doing for Philly.
Hey, that's what wins you championships, right? It's the defense, and that's a hard day at the office. The numbers you just reeled off.
10 tackles. I don't think I made 10 tackles in my whole career, rather than one game. So, yeah. So our next one, we go to Insta, and this is from RJ Hubs 88, and we are talking about this unreal catch and put down. Great work to have the technique and camera angles available to confirm an awesome TD. And I'm going to ask you right now, is this the best catch ever?
Look, it was a great catch. But I'm not going to do my man Odell Beckham dirty. I think that for me still is the best catch, and that pretty much made him a megastar for like a decade off the back of that catch back in 2014. But this one was pretty close.
It was up there. It really is. But I'm with you. I think OBJ, he was smothered. Like the defense he was smothered, and he went over the back. Like I can't even put my hand that far back, but that was an unbelievable catch. But speaking about Wilson, so he's obviously sponsored by Adidas. I found this very interesting. For now. But you're an NBA guy. What did it look like?
We all know that was the jump man, which is objectively hilarious to do as an Adidas athlete.
Yes.
But don't be surprised if the swoosh comes knocking. But Adidas already put out, I think, a little statement saying, that's our guy. Relax.
Isn't that unbelievable? Speaking about that though, like that's how good a catch it was.
Yeah.
Like that's monumental. That's billboards, and that's, you know what, man. When Wilson's older, he can go, yeah, man. Your dad was going to be. He was going to be the next Air Jordan.
I'll be telling people I'm actually the silhouette. That's actually me.
Yeah. I was the guy being talking about, but it's just unbelievable. Wide receivers, yes, they are princesses. Oh my God, they're princesses sometimes. But their ability to, show strength and concentration at full speed and do things like that at the end of plays, it's unbelievable.
You can be a diva if you pull off catches like that. That's okay with me.
I'm with you too, mate. Yeah. So, and it's the Jets. It's like I just don't know where the Jets are at. They're 3-6. They've got an amazing team. They sacked the quarterback 8 times on the weekend, and that is huge. But then you look on the other side of it, their run defense is terrible. They're letting in 132 run yards a game. Rodgers. First half, unbelievable. First half, terrible. Second half, unbelievable. He's got Adams. He's got Garrett. They've got all the artillery, but I just don't know if they can do it. What's your thoughts on the Jets?
I don't know. You think Rodgers still has it at this age? You think he can still do it?
Well, let's say no because Horo loves him. But tell me, did you see the Malachi Corley play? So we spoke about last week carrying on. Before you've scored a touchdown, he's over the TD line and he drops the ball before.
Ooh.
No touchdown.
No. That's unacceptable. We can't have that. Man?
But this is what we're talking about. The Jets all year. This is the things that they've been doing.
That's a very Jetsy move.
It's a very NFL player move for me. But great catch either way. So next one. This one comes to us from X, and it's from BT, The Last Hope. Michael Thomas has thrown his career in the dumpster. And we're referring to Michael Thomas's beef with former quarterback Derek Carr on X. Michael Thomas, what are you doing?
Why are you doing this on Twitter? That's the main question.
I don't get it. Like, I'm totally with you, mate. Why are you on Twitter doing this? If you've got beef with him, ring him up and ask him a question. Like, it's just, for me, honestly, it's quite embarrassing. I think for him as a player, like Mike Thomas, like, look at yourself right now. You haven't got a team. And there's a reason for that. Yeah, you had a great season, and yeah, you're trying to live off that season you had with Breeze. But man, right now you've got nothing. Don't go having a go out there. Don't go having a go out there, Carr.
Yeah, look, it's very easy to point the finger from the couch.
I just feel, it just looks real desperate, and it's not a great look. And look, he's going to say, and look, I won't lie. This was did you see the hospital ball?
Yeah.
It was quite the hospital ball that he gave to Chris Olave.
So we're calling Grub or no Grub?
Well, is it a Grub move? Is 100%? No, it is 1,000% a Grub move. And just get off Twitter. Like, what are you doing? Like, what do you like? I don't understand it. But yeah, for me, I just don't know where to for the Saints right now. Alvin Kamara, I don't know where he ran for 214 yards and they still lost to the Panthers. So they're in a world of hurt. They had a lot of end zone opportunities that they didn't convert on. And Derek Carr still looks injured to me. He just couldn't really rocket that ball like he usually does. But I'm a bit of a Derek Carr fan, to be honest. I just think he cops a bit of slack. All right, on to the next one. This one's from Facebook, and it's from Jaden Cust. Philly are crumbling. And this refers to Joel Embiid. He confronted a Philadelphia journo. What's your thoughts on this one, mate? Firstly, on Embiid, and secondly, can Philly turn it around?
I think they can turn it around. There's a lot of basketball still to be played, but yeah, a tough situation, especially with Embiid having not yet played this season. But to be honest, I kind of feel for Embiid. Like, that was a tricky situation that you can hide behind a keyboard and say these kind of things, but I think there's some things you kind of have to leave alone. And criticizing Embiid is one thing, but I'm not entirely surprised this played out the way it did.
Oh, I'm with you. I didn't care. That's what I used to. It's funny because I speak to journalists now, being in the media a little bit, and I always say to them, because they ask, what is it? Like, why does this guy not like me? And I'm like, well, there's some things you can't touch on.
Yeah.
Touch on my performance, touch on what you actually think of me as a person, but just don't bring anyone else into it. And that's just my thoughts on this whole thing. But Embiid, you're a Philly guy. I feel he always looks frustrated or annoyed. And look, I have to agree with this journo a little bit. Like, he's questioning, his shape and his body type. He doesn't think he looks after his body, his professionalism. But he sort of refers to, he doesn't play through a bit of pain. As a Philly supporter, do you feel that a little bit?
That's a tough one because, Embiid even came out and said that, the things that he's kind of sacrificed and, playing through the orbital fracture, and he's had a couple of knee issues as well. And look, to his credit, he has kind of fought through some injuries to come back and play. And it's a tough one because he is a big guy, as a 7-footer, it's hard to sort of come back from those kind of injuries. But I still think, Embiid, he hasn't made it to the conference finals yet. That's the big cloud that's kind of hanging over the Sixers is they've had all of these great versions of these teams that haven't really amounted to a lot. Now we have a team with Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, and Joel. This kind of feels like it's got to be the year for them. So the pressure, it's always on in Philly, but feels like it's on a little extra this year.
Oh, the Philly media. Be careful.
They're not going to let you slide.
So do you think, they've started off poor, 1-4. Paul George comes back this week. Do you think with him in their team, they're a playoff type of team?
Oh, absolutely. If all three of them are healthy, Maxey's no doubt. But, Paul George and Joel Embiid, that's the big question mark. Are these guys going to play 70-plus games? If they're out on the floor, I think they have the front, the top-end talent and the bench talent to even be up there with the Boston Celtics. But the difference is the Boston Celtics play. Are these Sixers guys going to be out there playing? And look, that could send the season in two completely different directions. But let's say they're all healthy. I think they're a team that will feel they're a conference finals contender. But a lot of things got to go right for them.
Spoken like a true Philadelphia fan.
Cynical. I don't believe it yet.
We've only got one eye. So coming up next, this was from Facebook from Daniel Malon. Australia is such a strong team now, I don't think he'd be selected. So this is in reference to Ben Simmons wanting to play for the Boomers again. What's your thoughts? Is it a little bit too late for Benny? Has he missed the bus?
Look, I understand the pessimism because we have heard this a lot from Ben Simmons over the years, wanting to play, pulling out of squads, not being available for international tournaments. If he's healthy for the 2028 Olympics, I mean, this is still 4 years away, so it's a little wishful thinking. I don't know if that door is closed yet because I know Brian Goorjian did want him to be a part of this Paris team, and then obviously the back injury and the rehab didn't quite work out for him. But I think if Ben Simmons is healthy and available, don't get it twisted. Ben Simmons is still one of the best players Australia has ever produced, a 3-time All-Star.
Yeah.
Look, he's been going through it a little bit the last couple of seasons, but from just a talent perspective, Ben Simmons is still Ben Simmons.
People forget, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's recent, and I'm not going to lie to you, I don't like when he wasn't training, and I just didn't like that whole
It's been
how it
messy.
all panned out. It's a little bit un-Australian.
Yeah.
I think we fight hard, and even though things are against us, we fight back. He didn't show that, but look, he's in form. The other night against the Bulls, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. Like that's some vintage Benny Simmons, and an aggressive Ben Simmons. Is it a good aggressive Simmons? Do you feel when he's aggressive and he looks confident, that's when he's playing his best ball?
Yeah, when he's out in transition, getting up and down the floor, more importantly, attacking the rim and finishing around the rim, which hasn't been as consistent this season. But like I said, we've seen flashes of it. And I think that's the big thing with Simmons. He just has to play and be out on the floor. And look, that's easier said than done for a guy that's had knee issues, back issues, surgeries. And, he maybe does look a little bit of a step slower than his peak. But, if he can put together a little bit of a run this season, it's a big year for him. It's a contract year as well. So, if he wants to get paid again next season, this kind of is the year. We see that motivation.
Always happens.
Yeah. So this is the year for Ben. But that's a team that's going nowhere fast, the Brooklyn Nets. I think they're going to struggle this year. So we'll see how things play out. But
I just like the way he talks about the green and gold jersey. He wants to play for it, and we want guys like that. Sometimes because we're not, a big basketball nation, you might not want to come back and play, but he wants to represent Australia. He also has come out and said he wants to invest in the game in Australia. He wants to, buy into an NBL team, which I like. So he's sort of thinking, to give back to where he's from, and I do like that. But yeah, speaking about the likes of Mills, Giddey, Goulding, Exum, where does he fit in that rotation?
I think you just find a place for Ben Simmons, whether it's in FIBA ball, you maybe play him as a center or a power forward.
Okay,
I think there's room for a healthy Ben Simmons on the Boomers roster. He's still 6'10". You don't forget how to do that.
Yeah, and you're a Ben Simmons guy.
I'm still on the island.
31 Ben Simmons. He's coming for the Olympics. Olympic gold, that is.
Let's go. I'm here.
All right, on to the next. So this one is from Instagram from Marty Now. Russell Westbrook is a curse personified.
That's cold.
Denver loses in first round in 6 games. Is my man Westbrook a curse?
Are we going to put that all on Russell Westbrook? That seems harsh.
What about the rest of them?
Yeah, look, I thought the Nuggets were maybe going to take a little bit of a step back this season anyway. Jamal Murray hasn't necessarily been healthy. They lost Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. So it's not the same team, but you have the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic. The expectations are still high. And I kind of thought Russ might work playing with a playmaking type big like Jokic. But the early returns, they haven't been great. He's not shooting the ball well, which hasn't been the case for the last couple of seasons. But I don't know. There's still a lot of basketball left, but I don't know. What do you think? You think it looks manageable?
I'm a Westbrook fan. I really am. I always have been since he was at the OKC days. I think he struggles off the bench.
Yeah.
As you just said, he's 27% at shooting, which is really, really poor. And I just think when he was at his best in full control of the court, very aggressive, reckless, great energy, I just don't think he can do that off the bench.
Yeah.
The game's changed a lot. It's a 3-point shooting game now. Rusty, or we obviously know Westbrook hasn't got a 3-pointer in him at all. So I think the Nuggets, their starting side is really good.
Yeah.
They're up there, but it's just their bench. Do you think, mate, that they might, try and include someone onto that bench maybe to help Westbrook?
Yeah, look, the options for them, I think, throughout the season, I think they will tweak this roster as it goes. I mean, I think Michael Porter Jr. came out the other day and said if they don't win a chip this year. They might even blow up the whole team. But in terms of Westbrook, I mean, the Nuggets bench scoring is like, I think 26th in the NBA. It was bad last season too. They've always relied on their starters. So it's never been a situation of we're going to balance things out and have the second unit come in. But if Russ can kind of work as a screener with Jokic, and they've tried that in stretches, kind of working him off the ball and trying to maximize what he is as a cutter, still a great, a great mover off the ball and doesn't necessarily have the same finishing around the rim. But I think it's going to take time because he finished seventh in sixth man of the year voting last season. Like, I think it's kind of slept on. He was actually pretty good for the Clippers. And we saw him in the playoffs have a couple of big games as well. But I think with a new team, he's only had that one training camp this offseason. It's going to take time, but it's right now it looks kind of ugly.
Maybe give him a little bit of help, and the Nuggets will be fine.
It's been 3 weeks.
All right, so that is the end of Left on Red. Our man Scope, he's not here, but we'll let him off the hook. He's gone down and caught up with no other than Seattle Seahawks Marshawn Lynch.
I knew it.
You knew it. What got it? Was it the Skittles?
It's the Skittles.
It's the Skittles, man. It's the Skittles. And, obviously he was known for his power running, his determination on the field. Probably that Super Bowl where he should have got the ball, give him the ball, feed him the ball. I loved hearing him speak about that. But let's check it out. He's not just a great player, he's a cultural icon. Let's get up there, Scope.
For our Australian audience, they might not understand what Ghost Ride the Whip means. Can you explain what that means for us?
It's when you put your car in neutral and you get outside of the car and you get the gigging and doing your Dougie. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the car is actually rolling by itself. So it's really just exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Ghost riding the whip.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly. You cruising around and
yeah, you feel me?
And those
you
guys, I've seen those highlights.
So
man.
then you throw that thing in.
Driving while you out here doing your thing.
Yeah, you throw that thing in neutral, you bounce out and you get the gig and, you know what I mean, let the car do what it's doing, you feel me? But I wouldn't recommend that, you know what I mean?
Got to be in a safe space to do something like that, I suppose.
No, you got to be highly trained though.
Yeah,
you know what
okay,
I'm talking about?
I got
You got to be highly trained and knowing what you're
doing. How do
doing.
you get trained in that?
You know what, it's kind of like it comes stock though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This ain't something you could go and take no creatine or no protein.
Gonna admit, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan.
Okay.
You went to Cal with Aaron Rodgers. I love the story that you told Shannon Sharp on Club Shay Shay about how he had your back during that time.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time in your career where you two could have aligned together, or was there ever a chance it could have worked out?
Before I went to Seattle.
From Buffalo.
Yeah, Green Bay. Well, from Aaron's mouth, he told me that Green Bay was trying to push, to get me traded over there. So, yeah, I know.
That one hurts me.
Yeah.
That one hurts me. Because you were beating us a lot during that time when you went over there. So.
Yeah, you know what and
I'm not even saying we now, like I was a part
don't
of it.
worry. I know how it get for fans.
Tied in with it.
For real.
When you get traded to Seattle in 2010, could you tell straight away that, this was a well-run organization and something special was around the corner?
Oh, well, it's interesting because right away, like when I first got there, at this point in time, I'm 4 years in the league and I had, a lot of the guys that would come up to me and they would hit me with the, hey, what's up with it, OG? And I'm like, OG, like,
4 years in?
Only, you know what I mean? I'm only at year 4 and a lot of us was the same age, but considering I left school early, but straight away, I could just tell that, they was on the verge of, trying to figure it out. Because I think we went through like 275 transactions of players where they were bringing in, bringing in and cutting. And I think we went through 275 players, which, I think is actually a record.
So is that in the 1 year, or was that over a span?
1 year.
1 year, 275.
It let me know that they knew exactly what they were looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was obviously you.
Pete Carroll actually recruited me in high school.
Okay.
So,
he was at USC, wasn't he?
Yeah, so I think, he was kind of aware of me and my running style. and what I brought to the team. Now, as far as my personality and everything, I don't think he knew too much about it, but I just had a conversation with Justin not too long ago, and he was telling me, when they was making that push, I was asking them questions like, how is Marshawn? And I played with him in college, like he a cool dude type of situation. Do you think he would mix with the guys if we was to bring him over here? Like, yeah, he's a pretty cool dude or whatever. So
yeah. I've always seen people speak about your power, obviously, your speed for running back, but you've got to have really good cardio to be doing that. And you're I feel like you got better as the quarters went on as well.
Yeah, well, what we like to think is it's a game of 4 quarters. And the thing is, if you can continue to get stronger as the game go on, when most guys are dying down, crazy as it sounds, like I hated running, but I would do things like I would go and swim, which is probably, some of the best cardio for me. But at the same time, it was less wear and tear on my body.
Yep.
But it's good for my lungs. And then I would also, on like days where, say it's like a Thursday, which is a third down day, and I didn't get too much running, what I would do is I would get on my bike and I would probably go, maybe like a 15-mile bike ride.
Yeah, smart.
Keep that type of shit going on. And like I said, I was looking at cardio as, all right, how can I do the least amount of work with the greatest amount of benefit?
Have you got any advice for Australian? Jordan Mailata's over there at the moment. You're going really well.
You got the punter and the kicker over in Seattle.
Dixon?
Yeah, but my guy was David Loney.
Okay.
So I played with him at Cal. And so he used to always come and do the Steve Irwin type little situation. And he came in, he had this bag, he put it down, and he started, saying all that like Steve Irwin had, hey, the little bugger, you go out in the wild and you see one of these right here, and I think it's called a Crenshaw. And he was talking about one of the players said he looked like a little lemur. And then I'm like, he hella funny.
Yeah.
So then he like, oh, well, here, mate, I'm going to show you this. And he go in his bag and pull out this big-ass snake. I'm talking about hella big, bruh. All I know is they told me that everything in Australia will kill you.
Yeah. Ours are smaller, but they're dangerous. Like they're not like big boas,
the
but
blackhead snake or the
red bellies and brown snakes.
Man, I ain't trying to see none of them shit.
I want you to give us the Super Bowl pick for this year. Who is anyone going to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs?
To be honest with you, I ain't gonna even hold you. Like, I want to see a three-peat. But realistically, we got the cousin, Josh Johnson, that played for Baltimore.
Okay.
So, we rock with the home team, you feel me, though? We got family over there, so, you know what I mean? And then, L, a hell of a player, but I for sure want to see my cousin get a Super Bowl ring. So I would say, I'm rocking with.
Lamar and Derek are looking pretty good at the moment.
Looking like old school Shaq and Penny right now, boy.
I'm not exactly sure what a blackhead snake is, but isn't it funny how, I feel all American people feel that, there's all dangerous killing animals everywhere where we live, everywhere in Australia.
The nature documentaries are the worst PR we could have given.
Unbelievable player. Love Skittles.
I like it. Lamar's my guy, so I agree with Marshawn. One of the most entertaining guys in the league ever, right?
Well, the one thing I did love about him also was he seemed to not really care. He didn't talk to the media, and he didn't care. They'd ask him questions, he'd walk off. So definitely a different style of character, but loved having him on the show, and it was good to see. So on to our next segment, and this is the Studs and Duds. So let's have a look at some of the fantasy studs and duds over the weekend. And this one comes from Instagram from Mason Aker. This one hits home and it shows 2 messages on his birthday, but when his buddies are beating him in fantasy, he's got 47 messages. So what I'm taking out of this is pretty much just a bit of carry on from your mates when you are getting belted in fantasy.
There's nothing worse when it's not your week. The group chat is unforgiving.
It's unforgiving. I want to turn it off. I want it gone. But yeah, for me, my fantasy, but I'm going to say, mate, I'm gone. I'm gone. Diggs is out for the year. Murray Cooper decided to not play this week, so I'm in tatters. Some other good players for this week. Joe Burrow threw for 5 touchdowns, which was pretty unbelievable. And how can we go past Saquon Barkley? 27 carries, 159 yards, and a circus act. Pretty much a circus act, mate. How about some stud and duds for yourself from the NBA?
You should get some extra points for the circus acts. From the NBA, I mean, the usual suspects, Nikola Jokic, obviously, stuff in the stat sheet. Jason Tatum's been really good to start this season. I think he took that Olympics snub seriously.
Yes.
And welcome back LaMelo Ball. He's been really fun, shooting the ball really well, getting points in a flurry. That's probably my 3 that I'm looking at. And in terms of duds, I think Jalen Brunson, bit of a slow start for him, bit of a slow start for the Knicks as well, especially from where he was last season. But I think they'll eventually get it together.
I thought you were going to say Westbrook then.
No,
I'm
no
glad
Westbrook slander over here.
Not yet. I love it. All right, this leads us into our Pick 6 presented by Tab. And Cynthia, she's been let down by one team, and we've already spoken about this team this week. The Saints, they cost her, since it was going for 3 pick 6s in a week.
That's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable. So all you Saints players, fans, Michael Thomas out there, what are you doing? You're ruining the 6 picks. She also had the Vikings over the Colts, the Bengals over the Raiders, the Bills beat the Dolphins, the mighty Eagles beat the Jags, and we've seen the Chiefs over the Bucks. 5 out of 6. Very, very unlucky, Cynthia. She's been great this year. If you followed Cynthia, you would have banked.
She don't miss.
You would have banked, man. We love having her on the show, but we're actually going to do something a little bit different this week. BK, you're going to come up with three tips for the basketball for the NBA this week, and I'm going to come up with a same-game multi for next week's Thursday night game, and it's a cracker, Baltimore versus Cincinnati. But you lead us off, mate. You get us off with a good start.
All right, let's put them together. Thursday's got a lot of games, a lot of good matchups, but I'm going to start off with the Clippers over the 76ers. The Clippers at home. Obviously, Paul George is back against his former team, but I think it's going to take a little time for them to get it together. So I'm going to stay with the Clippers. Then the Celtics against the Warriors. A bit of a star-studded matchup. Steph Curry's been out for a few games. I'm not sure if he's going to make it back for that one, but I think the Celtics will be too strong regardless either way. And then we've got the Knicks and the Hawks. We just spoke about Jalen Brunson, off to a bit of a slow start this season. The Hawks, they've been up and down. I think they've lost 5 of their last 6. So I like the Knicks to go there to Atlanta and get the win there.
Well, I feel multis are about a good start. That is a great start. So I'm going to bring us home. So my back end, my same game multi for the Cincinnati versus Baltimore game is Baltimore head-to-head.
Yep.
I'm going to go Jamar Chase to score. Reason being, Burrow threw 5 touchdowns on the weekend, and Chase didn't get one of them. Surely he's getting one.
He's not doing that again.
He's getting one this week. And to bring us home, King Henry to finish us off for a touchdown.
I'm going to back it. I like that. We've got the Voltron. Put those bets together, those legs. I think we got something there.
I like it.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Well, that's it. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you get onto us on the socials, X, Instagram, Facebook. Keep writing in because we love it. It's fan-driven. Mate, what a show. How did you feel? Anything you're looking forward to in the sport this week? There's that much going on.
Mate, I just need to watch my Sixers get back on track. We've got a few big games coming up this week.
The MLS is heating up. I'm super excited to watch that to see who's going to take it out. But thanks for everyone for tuning in. The man might be back next week because I got a bit of stuff going on. So I'll let you know if you need to come off the bench again, brother.
Always, mate. Activate me. I'm ready.
Let's go.